All right, here we are another week. As you can see, the cosmos down there have gone crazy. Everything else, flower-wise, is kind of slowing down. This batch of zinnias, at least, is slowing down, but they've been going almost all summer, so it's about time for them. Our peas are looking great. You can tell this first row is definitely a little bit ahead of the second one, but looking really good. Green beans, not looking great. You see a lot of gaps in there. Not really sure what the reasoning there is. It may have something to do with the seeder. I might have to start doing that by hand instead of using the seeder. New batch of butter beans are looking great. They did much better this time. This batch of butter beans is about time to pick them. Let's see if I can show you. It's right there. We got little, bigger ones and then little baby beans in them. Been trying to irrigate them really well so they will fill out. We haven't gotten a good harvest of them just yet. They're loaded with pods, but they just aren't filling out like I'd like them to. This next row here, I just seeded with a triple row of radishes on this end, and then around here it switches to beets, your regular old Detroit red beets. And then down here, if you were around last week, you'll know I planted squash, and they are up. I think I had planted 16 or 17 hills. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like 14 or 15 came up. So that's not bad at all. Peanuts, still looking great. Still blooming, which is interesting. If you were around last week, you know we dug up and saw some baby peanuts. So they are producing now. Now it's very critical not to mess with the dirt around them. Just let them be and let them do their thing. I am making sure that they're getting irrigation now as well, to fill out those peanuts really well. Our cotton, still massive. I actually think it's still getting taller. Still blooming in places. And forming all these balls of cotton. So this is going to be cotton. And there's loads of them down in there. So now we're just waiting for those to open up. Pumpkin plants, they're doing okay. I don't have a whole lot of hope that we're going to get a pumpkin off of them. You can see one right there. But we'll see what happens. I think we'll all be happy if we can get one pumpkin each, or honestly even just one nice pumpkin would be great. Marigold's starting to get a second life, it seems. Basil looking great down there. I need to cut some more of that probably. Peppers getting really yellow, kind of on their last leg, but the poblanos have really taken off all of a sudden. I'm finally getting more of a full-size pepper, which is awesome. These zinnias, which were later planted, are doing really well. And they are quite large. But they're beautiful. Tomatoes, you'll recall I did a bunch of staking and pruning on them. You can see there's a ripe one down in there, along with a pumpkin bloom. They're doing great since they've been staked up and kind of thinned out some. Look at that one right there that's been staked. It's got all this new growth up the top. It's doing really well. Hopefully we'll get tomatoes off of those for several months to come. Down here, this was just the slew of tomatoes and weeds. I can show you, now that we can get to them, I can show you the sweet potatoes down here. And they're still just creating their vines and hanging out. So here's one coming out this green, and then it transitions to purple color. There's one over here. Big heart-shaped leaves. They seem to be doing okay. It's hard to tell in the weeds, but we'll see what happens. Sunflowers are pretty much at the end of their life, and the flowers behind them are doing okay, but not excellent. They're just at the end of their season. You'll see all this irrigation on the ground here. Excuse me. I planted a bunch of different things here today. Doing some planting and getting everything straight here to plant peas. As you can probably tell, you might not be able to on camera, but we are incredibly dry. We haven't had substantial rain in a number of weeks now, but trying to get the fall garden in the ground anyways, and I'll hook the irrigation back up to these. So what we're doing here today is I have this string, and on each end of it I have a landscape staple, which is one of these guys, and that is marking my row, because this is going to be where I plant my green peas. So these are going to be a double row. So I have the string going down the center, which it's probably hard to see on camera, but I have the string going down the center. I have raked my row so it's nice and flat and got all the big rocks and clods out of the way. And then I'm going to take the seeder and fill it up with my seed and run it down there back and forth. This is the seeder I'm using, and I think it has, yeah, there's your brand name in case that's what you're after. But the way it works is you have these little discs, and it comes with a bunch of them, and they're for different size seeds and different spacing of seeds. So this is the one I'm going to use for my peas. It says beans and small peas on it. So I'm going to use that, and the way that works is this goes in here. You have this part that spins. So I'll put this on here. This is always the fiddly bit because they don't have the angle exactly right. Okay, and then you make sure you tighten that down so it doesn't come loose. And then this is your bucket that you're going to put your seed in. And you can see there's a max fill line. But what happens is, as you turn, so there's a front wheel and a back wheel, and you'll see they're different. This one has actual grooves, like actual tread on its tire. That one is flat. This one spins, and when it spins, it rotates this belt, and the belt comes up and rotates this wheel that spins the part on the inside, and your seeds get caught in these little holes, and then they drop down. Let's see if I can show you the back side. They drop down this funnel into this chute, and you can actually watch them fall down through there and come out down here. Now this little flap is then going to cover them up, and this little plow on the front is going to dig into the ground at whatever spacing you designate. So there's little delineations on there, and you can pick how deep you need your seed to be, and it will dig down that deep, and then this wheel is going to finish tamping it down, and your seed will be completely planted, in theory. I have found pretty much every single time that I have to go back and make sure everything is covered well. They don't all get covered well. And I think being dry today, that'll probably be even more of the case. Okay, so that's them now planted. We're gonna look and see. So you can see the little furrow it made. And all the seeds should be down in there and covered up. See, here's one that didn't get covered up. So we'll get it down in there. But it looks pretty good. Not seeing really any out of place, so that's great. I will pull the dirt to these and prevent them from having those little divots. I don't want water to collect there. But yeah, they look great, and that took me probably about, I don't know, 30 seconds to plant probably 80-foot row twice, because I went down and back. And it took approximately half a pound of seed. So not bad. We'll see how they do. So to hook my irrigation back up, you'll see this black hose with the blue stripe on it. That's my main line, and that goes all the way up to the water hose to the house and then to the well. But this little piece coming off right here, that's what I'm going to attach my actual row drip tape to. And it has, this is its little on and off valve. So right now it's off. And it is punctured into that line and then screwed down tight. And then on this side, I take my drip tape, which has stripes on the bottom and holes already drilled on the bottom. And I take my tape and I put it over the end like so. And then push it on as far as you can get it to go. Make sure your yellow stripe is down, and then screw it down tight. Now my drip line is attached, and I'm going to run down this row here and make sure there aren't any kinks and put it exactly where I want it. So we have on this far end, all the way to the left, is celery on the left side of the tape and bok choy on the right. The next row is a broccoli variety and Brussels sprouts. The center is a double row of peas, green peas. This next row is broccoli on one end and early Jersey Wakefield cabbage on the end. Last row is just Decicero broccoli, which is made more for side shoots and more prolific, so we'll see how it does. And that's what we've got going on. So most of this is going to take 2 weeks to germinate. Maybe a little bit less, depends on what the weather does. I am going to be irrigating these because our ground is so dry, and there is no rain in the forecast. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Birds are still loving everything. Saw the hummingbird earlier. We've had some little nut hatches flying around. Loads of butterflies and bees. You can hear what I like to call the hot bugs. The bugs that you hear when it's really hot outside. But yeah, things are doing well. We're still in that transition phase. There's not a whole lot to harvest at the moment. It's more prep for later. But I will have these butter beans to pick probably in the next couple of days. I'm sure there's some tomatoes over there to pick, some peppers to pick, and more flowers. We've been picking flowers after flowers after flowers. It's definitely been a great year for flowers. But yeah, that's where we're at. Lots of new, lots of exciting. Just kind of a shift in the work. But thanks for coming along. Thanks to those of you who do watch every week. And if you're new, go back and watch the old ones so you can have a better idea of what's going on here and what we're talking about. And hope to see you again next week. I don't think I've shown you him yet, but this is our little garden friend. And I find him in different spots all around the garden. He's some kind of toad, but I'm not sure exactly what. I will look him up for you. But he's pretty cool. He lets you pretty much almost step on him before he decides to go anywhere. But he's just chilling right now. I disturbed him from wherever it was that he was hiding. But a little friend. If you have any name suggestions, pop them in the comments, and I'll try to keep you updated on where he is and what he's doing. And whether